Happy Monday, and welcome back to the Lorden Arts channel. I'm John Lorden. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here today. Case Cracked is the show where we look into a mystery, and what are the critical pieces that help solve that mystery. Today's episode is called Diving for Truth. Sparta in White County, Tennessee, is a quiet, small town and currently has a population of less than 5,000 people. The Calf Killer River, which is named after a Cherokee chief who used to live in the area, runs right through the town. With little crime, it's not a place you'd usually hear about, but that would all change on April 3rd, 2000. Two friends, 17-year-old Jeremy Bechtel and his friend 18-year-old Erin Foster, were in Erin's black 1998 Pontiac Grand Am. Jeremy called his father around 9 p.m. and asked for a ride the next day. Erin and Jeremy then picked up Erin's brother Will from an arcade and dropped him off at home. Erin then asked permission to head back out to a party that was happening in a rural part of town, and the two of them headed out. The next morning, Erin had not returned home. Her father, who was out of town on business, thought she'd be back in a day or so and told his wife not to worry. When everyone found out Jeremy had not returned either, nor had he met his father for that ride that he requested, they still decided to wait an entire week before finally the Foster family called the police and reported them missing. At this point, the families didn't feel that their children had run away together. None of their personal belongings, except for the stuff that they had with them that night, were missing from either of their homes. Both had jobs, but their final paychecks were never picked up. Law enforcement never searched their rooms, nor did they interview any of the young couple's friends. With police doing little to find them, rumors began to spread through town. Some said they had been murdered and their bodies dumped in an abandoned well somewhere in White County. Others said they died because of a robbery gone wrong, because of drugs, or simply because they ran away together. These wild theories spread the police department thin as they tried to follow the leads. Disappointment became the norm in the Bechtel and Foster households as each new lead led nowhere. In 2005 and 2006, tips led investigators to Pensacola, Florida, where they received reports of a woman who looked like Erin. The woman was never found or confirmed to be her, leaving police to believe that it was just a woman that resembled the missing teen. In 2012, investigators identified several persons of interest in the case, including Erin's ex-boyfriend. All would eventually be cleared. Both families suffered more than just the loss of their children. Leanne Foster, Erin's mother, was forced to quit her job because her coworkers constantly talked about the disappearance. Erin's father, Cecil, took medication and drank to, quote, wash the troubles away. They just tried to keep to themselves and stayed out of the public eye. Pictures and belongings were too painful to look at, so the couple packed them away and tried to live each day like their daughter was dead. Even though they treated her as if she would never return, they always found themselves unable to have a funeral or to have her declared legally deceased. Cecil said, quote, "I didn't want to do that because we didn't know if she was dead or not. I didn't want to pretend she was dead and find out she wasn't." In later years, when DNA technology advanced and organizations set up databases online to look for missing loved ones, it was recommended that each couple provide DNA samples to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NCMEC. Rhonda Ledbetter, Jeremy's mother, gave a sample, even though she was afraid that it would only be used to identify her son. The Fosters did not provide a sample, possibly fearing the same thing that Rhonda did. In November of 2021, things took a turn. White County Sheriff Steve Page was attending church when he was approached by a member of Erin's family. They asked him if he had ever watched a YouTuber whose channel's name was Exploring with Nug. In his videos, Jeremy Both Sides, or Nug, scuba dives in rivers and lakes, recovering lost or stolen property, cleaning up the waterways, and he also helps bring closure to families in need. Page had not seen the videos, but asked that a link be sent to him. Sides didn't start out looking for missing people or shooting videos for YouTube. One day, he bought a metal detector to look for gold nuggets, or nugs, as a side hobby, and he lost himself to it. He seemed to have a knack for finding missing or stolen items. That's when he thought, I wonder if I could figure out a way to make a living doing it. Soon, he became scuba certified and started looking for lost cars, which then turned into looking for missing people. When he researches a case, he looks to websites that list cold cases. Sides would then look for awkward cases or instances where people vanished off the planet and vanished in their cars. Cars don't just disappear, Sides said. 9 times out of 10, they're in the water. When he found Jeremy and Erin's case, he decided he would try his hand at that cold case. After Sheriff Page returned home from church, he watched the video and realized that Sides was diving in nearby lakes looking for Jeremy and Erin, and he was doing a good job of it. He was also using his own equipment, and it was devices that the sheriff's office didn't have access to. That's when he approached Sides and asked him to officially help them in their search, but he had a suggestion. The sheriff had always felt the river searches had not been conducted in the correct area. He asked Sides to explore Calf Killer River instead of the areas nearby that he was previously concentrating on. On November 30th, 2021, Sides began diving in the Calf Killer River, hoping to find some clue as to the young couple's disappearance. In the video posted to his channel, you can see Sides moving slowly through murky, dark water when suddenly he comes upon the front of a car. After removing algae stuck to the vehicle and revealing a Pontiac symbol and license plate, he dove to the surface and contacted Sheriff Page. A team of divers were called in to look at the car. It was found to be a match for Erin Foster's black Pontiac, even with the matching license plate. Inside the vehicle, with the windows still rolled up, were 2 sets of human remains. The area had been looked at by dive teams before, but none of the searches had traveled far enough down the river to find the car. On December 1st, everything was removed from the river. Although there could be many reasons the couple could have driven off into the water, most think that they simply turned a corner, lost control of the car, and drove off into the river where they waited for 21 years. After the discovery, Sides left town before Cecil and Ronnie, Erin and Jeremy's fathers respectively, could thank him. All he would say was, "I was very humbled that I could just help out." Ronnie and Cecil feel that they've lost their children all over again. Cecil and Jeremy's mother, Leanne, say that now they have to learn how to live all over again. Quote, "Now we just have to deal with losing this glimmer of hope we had, that they might have been alive somewhere. Now we're sure that they're not, so it's a different hurt." As a thank you for all the department's hard work, they gave Sheriff Page the license plate from Erin's car. Ronnie says that now he must find a way to deal with the pain alone, as Rhonda had died in 2017 from cancer. He believes that the stress and worry took a toll on Jeremy's mother, which eventually led to her death. He said that his heart is shattered all over again. However, he is thankful to be able to find a sense of closure. "I can bury my son," he said. "I've prayed that if he's not on this earth, that he's with Jesus and with Mama. And there's no doubt they've all seen him by now and know what's happened." Case cracked. I would like to thank People.com, The Washington Post, The New York Post, KnoxNews.com, and Wikipedia. Of course, the biggest thank you goes to Christy Arnhart for researching and writing today's case up, and here she is now to discuss it with us. Christy, this is one of the things I've been waiting to see. I'm so happy that you wrote up this script and that we can share this story. I've been waiting to see some form of law enforcement cooperation with social media to help them enable each other And that's literally what happened here. You had a guy that was willing to put the work in. He was already out there, already searching. You had the expertise of law enforcement, knowing the case, knowing what they had tried, and having one big question. Hey, I think we need to search in this one particular area. Those two things come together and bang.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm so proud of how this worked out.
Yeah. And I think this is the start. I mean, obviously there's a trend on YouTube.
Yeah, this is the dream for all of us.
Yeah. There's a trend on YouTube. We've got a lot of diving channels that are now kind of focusing on this type of case. But there's a lot of these types of cases that are out there. We've covered so many on this channel. It's ridiculous. And I've been saying that for years. Like, the car doesn't just disappear.
No.
So it's great that we have this new resource. It's, I guess you could look at it and be a little bit frustrated with, hey, how come law enforcement isn't using the right types of tools, or why don't they have access to the right types of tools? But we've got, 17,000 law enforcement departments in this country. They've got different budgets, different sizes, different concerns. I'm actually working on something for Seriously Mysterious where we're going to dive into some of those challenges with a detective that's actually telling us about those challenges. So we'll get more into that there. But besides having the right equipment to help them, it's a great example of how this can really work out, how we can get the right equipment, the right intel, which obviously law enforcement has, and just make this type of thing happen.
No, definitely.
Yeah. And especially, I think there's something to be said about, I think we can see this happen for older cold cases a bit more easily. Because, especially a case like this, they probably didn't have any strong indicators of criminal responsibility, like, we don't have the car being found with blood around it or something like that, where it's obvious that this is going to be a criminal investigation. And then when you get 20 years out, like, I think law enforcement is hopefully going to see things like this case and being more open to engaging people that could help them that are kind of in this, and not just social media, but private citizens, period.
Well, you have to think everybody has something that they're good at.
Yeah.
That they truly enjoy. And whether you can make a living at it or not, I think with the social media that we have going, with all of the YouTubers, I really think we can start showcasing our talents and help out.
It could be a great connector, because, it might not always be the person that's actually on camera that's like, I'm the one with the expertise. Like, but it might be that we can help get the connections between, oh, there's this expert that we know. There's an expert that's a fan of my channel, or there's someone that just sees one of my videos. Hey, John, I've been working in that field for 15 years, or I'm retired out of that field and I've got all this spare time and I want to be able to help on this particular case. There's just, I've been excited about this possibility for such a long time. I'm sure you can tell, Christy, I'm not even letting you talk today because I'm so hyped up on it. Like, this is the next step. This is, we're going to see more of this. I'm really certain of it.
Fingers crossed.
So let's let you talk for a little bit. First of all, I wasn't quite sure about the relationship between Jeremy and Erin. Are they like friends? Are they more than that? What did you find on that?
The reports were conflicting. Some of them, they were boyfriend, girlfriend. Some of them, they were just friends.
Okay.
It just depended on what you looked at, I guess.
Yeah. It also just kind of brought up a memory for me. When I was about this age, a similar situation. I had a friend that had a car. I was basically driving her car at certain times. It just kind of makes me wonder about that too. And especially, with a Pontiac, you've got something that's a little sporty and like, were they having a little extra fun while they were driving around? Like, I mean, in terms of how they were driving, that would, lead to that type of accident or something. So it's, there's a lot of different considerations around that. I hope that they'll have some answers for the family. I don't know. It's really tough when we're talking about that much time that has passed in terms of what they're going to be able to discover forensically. But this is all a very recent discovery. What's left on the table in terms of the investigation? What do they still have to do?
Well, I know they're still trying to confirm the identity of the couple.
Okay.
They're trying to determine a cause of death. And they're also trying to explore those avenues once again, trying to find out if it was foul play or if this was just an accident.
Okay. I mean, yeah, obviously there's going to be some work to do on that front. If they see something obvious, like, there's a bullet hole in the car or something like that, I mean, yeah, would certainly lead them in that direction. So, yeah, if there's any big updates like that, we'll definitely keep you guys aware here on the channel.
Oh, yes.
Something else, we also saw that the families are actually currently running GoFundMes to help raise funds for both of the burials. So on behalf of myself and my amazing supporters, thank you guys so much for supporting the Lord and Arts channel. We have made donations to both of them. That's already done. But if you want to take it a step farther and you want to give a little more, we'll have links in the description box down below. Please consider. Unfortunately, one of the GoFundMes is doing better than the other one. Both these families need help. So please take a moment, take a look at those GoFundMes and see if you can help them as well.
Yes.
Even with just sharing it. Doesn't always mean, if you can't make a donation, that's no problem. Maybe just take a moment, see if you could share those GoFundMes, and maybe there's someone in your circle of friends or family that is able to make a donation. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Christy, thank you so much. Really, thank you. This is a story I've been waiting for a long time. I hope we see a lot more of them, but we really appreciate your work on this. And I've got some other people to thank right now. Thank you, PayPal supporters Brandy Fry, Sigrid E. O'Hearn, Jennifer Dixon, and Angela Welch Sola. If you'd like to support the channel, please visit lordandarts.com. There you can sign up for Patreon, sign up for PayPal, buy merchandise, or even just buy us a coffee, like Esther recently did. We know that learning about the mechanisms that help support and find justice in these cases is important to understand the many unsolved cases we also cover, and we really appreciate your support in allowing us to continue doing that. Remember, you can get another Lord and Art story every week on the Seriously Mysterious podcast. A new episode is coming tomorrow and every Tuesday after that. Visit seriouslymysterious.com and subscribe on your favorite podcatchers. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe below and hit that bell icon if you want to catch one of our weekly Secret Studio live shows. And of course, I'll be back with a new unsolved mystery for you on Friday, right here on the Lord and Arts channel.